Hi, everyone. I wanted to start off a short little video series that addresses some frequently asked questions about the Imagine Learning EL education curriculum as we adopt it this year as the School District of Philadelphia. So, the first question that I wanted to address is there are so many resources. What should I focus on? When I was planning an EL lesson, there were two resources that I found to be especially helpful to me, and I wanted to highlight the following. The first is the Unit at a Glance. This resource really gives a bird's eye view of each unit, highlighting the lesson title that gives you just a broad overview of what you'll be covering, the lesson summary, the daily learning targets, and then whatever assessments you will be using that day to measure student learning. The second resource is the latter half of the lesson narrative. And this is actually just the fleshed out lesson. And reading through this part of the lesson narrative gives me an exact picture of what my lesson will look like in real time as a play-by-play. So let's go directly to the site to see where these two resources are. I'm going to go starting here at my Hollywood Squares. I'm going to click the ILC button, go to the ELA site. I'm going to scroll down and take a look at the 6-8 grade band, and we will look at 6th grade for the purposes of this navigation because I love 6th grade. So I'm going to click 6th. And when you scroll down, you'll see all 4 modules that will be covered for the year. So if I click on module 1, when I scroll down to module 1, going past these initial resources, I'm going to find this page, the Unit 1 overview. So I'm going to click that. And there's a lot of good stuff here, but I'm going to skip over the unit description, the 4 T's, the habits of character until I get to the unit at a glance. And here, zoomed in, you can see exactly what I was talking about. They have each lesson hyperlinked for you, the lesson summary, the targets, and the assessments. And when I look at this unit at a glance, it truly gives me a very solid overview of what we will be covering for the next several weeks. So I know I'm making you a little dizzy, but I just wanted to scroll down to show how comprehensive it is. And then the other thing I love about this unit at a glance is that, again, it hyperlinks to each lesson. So I'm actually just going to open lesson 1 on a new tab so that I could take you to that second resource that I find especially helpful when planning a lesson. And that is the latter half of the lesson narrative. So when I click on lesson 1, I'm not going to start here on this lesson tab where it shows you all of the slides. I'm going to skip the materials tab. I'm going to go straight to about this lesson. When I'm here, I'm going to click on the lesson 1 narrative. Once I click on that, I typically do look at the daily learning target. And then I really like the agenda because it is going to summarize what this lesson is about. Each lesson will always have an opening, a couple different cycles of work time, closing assessment, and then this homework portion, which, as you probably know, we have rebranded at the School District of Philadelphia as Accountable Independent Work. So again, this just gives me a bird's eye view of the lesson, but then I'm actually going to scroll down past the teaching notes, past the opportunities to extend learning and ways to support all students, all very important stuff. But before I look at any of this, I actually want to start here. So this heading that I'm highlighting here, anything below this heading is the actual lesson. And you'll see it quite clearly because it starts with the opening. And from here down, this is going to be the lesson, somewhat scripted, and it gives you a play by play of everything that is suggested to happen during this lesson. And this is really where I would park and read through very thoroughly to, first of all, understand how the lesson should flow. And then I would think about, okay, how will this work for my students with the time that we have planned? So, yeah, those are the two resources that I would start with, the unit at a glance and the latter half of the lesson narrative when planning for instruction. I hope this is helpful, and I will definitely try to cover more questions in the future.